Y'all ready for this?
All right, listeners, ready to rock and roll?
I was born ready.
Well, good, because today we're diving headfirst into the Brighton, MA music scene.
Oh, yeah.
We got a stack of articles and notes from a listener,
Cool.
all about this legendary spot. They called it Rock City, home to some serious musical heavyweights.
I'm intrigued.
From iconic clubs that hosted everyone from Aerosmith to The Doors.
Wow.
To the wild stories that could only come out of Boston.
This is going to be good.
So where should we start this musical journey?
Well, let's set the stage back in the 1960s.
Okay.
Brighton was a musical hotbed.
Oh, yeah.
Alongside the British invasion, Brighton was nurturing its own homegrown talent.
A real clash of musical cultures.
Exactly. And then there was Summer Thing.
Summer Thing.
This amazing program started by Mayor Kevin White, huge supporter of the arts.
Cool.
Imagine free concerts popping up all over the city.
Free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With bands like The Byrds, Chuck Berry, even B.B. King.
Now that's what I call being in the right place at the right time.
Totally. And speaking of the right place,
Yeah.
we got to talk about the Crosstown Bus.
The Crosstown Bus.
It was this tiny legendary club,
Yeah.
only around for a few months in '67.
Oh, wow.
But man, it hosted some incredible acts in that short time.
Like who?
Well, think tinfoil on the walls,
Okay.
go-go girls dancing in cages,
Oh, wow.
and music so loud it'd rattle your bones.
Sounds intense.
Steve Morse, this music journalist,
Okay.
described seeing the Doors there.
Really?
He said it was pure 1960s rock and roll.
The Doors at the Crosstown Bus. That's a picture I'm not going to forget.
But here's the thing. The Crosstown Bus didn't last long.
Oh, no. What happened?
Police shut it down.
Classic rock and roll story.
And their last night was wild.
Oh, yeah.
The band playing was the Hallucinations.
Y'all ready for this?
Okay. No way. Talk about going out with a bang.
Right.
So what happened to Brighton's music scene after the Crosstown Bus closed?
It didn't disappear. It just found a new home. Where?
Bunratty's.
Bunratty's.
Opened in '69.
Okay.
This place was a force of nature.
Really?
Live music 365 days a year for over a decade.
They were serious about their music.
Oh, absolutely. And the vibe?
Yeah. What was it like?
Raw, gritty, pure rock and roll.
I can dig it.
And it had a reputation anything could happen there.
Like what?
Well, there are stories of the owner, Dennis Mullins,
Okay.
firing his pistol at a mounted moose head.
Whoa.
Yeah, just another night at Bunratty's.
You gotta love it. So who played at this wild place?
Oh, so many legends.
Like who?
Frank Zappa, Bruce Springsteen, Stevie Ray Vaughan, George Thorogood.
Wow, the list goes on.
Even Aerosmith played there early on.
No way, really?
But get this, they got kicked out for playing original music.
You're kidding.
Nope, the owners wanted them to stick to covers.
Aerosmith, too original for Bunratty's. I love it.
Right.
But it makes you wonder, were cover bands really that big back then?
Oh, they were huge.
But there was also this growing hunger for something new.
Original music.
Yeah. And that brings us to another iconic Brighton venue,
What's that?
the Paradise Rock Club.
Oh, yeah. The Paradise.
Still going strong today.
Amazing. What made it so special?
It was the place to see bands just before they hit it big. U2 played their first U.S. tour there.
Wow.
Billy Joel recorded She's Got Away at the Paradise.
Really?
Yeah, and so many more. Blondie, Talking Heads, Tom Petty, the Ramones.
It's mind-boggling.
Right.
Brighton was more than just a place for bands to play.
Absolutely.
It was a place where they could grow and experiment.
Totally.
We've talked about some huge names, international stars.
Right.
But what about the local scene?
The heart and soul of Brighton music.
What can you tell us about that?
Well, to understand that, we got to talk about Aerosmith.
Okay, let's hear it.
They weren't just passing through Brighton.
Whoa.
They were living and breathing it, crammed into this tiny apartment on Commonwealth Avenue, eating brown rice and soup just to make ends meet,
Yeah.
all while chasing their rock and roll dream.
That classic starving artist story,
Totally.
but with a rock and roll twist.
Right.
And what's so fascinating is they weren't just hungry for fame.
No.
They were hungry for an audience.
Yeah.
For connection.
For sure.
They used to set up their equipment outside BU
Oh, really?
during lunchtime.
No kidding.
Just start jamming.
Wow.
Imagine that Aerosmith,
Yeah.
one of the biggest rock bands of all time,
Right, yeah.
playing on the street, hoping to
Huh.
get noticed.
Gotta start somewhere.
It makes you wonder,
Yeah.
If those early days playing for anyone who would listen
Yeah.
shaped their sound,
Could be.
their energy,
Yeah.
their connection with their fans.
Totally.
But Aerosmith wasn't the only band to come out of Brighton.
Oh, no.
There were other venues,
Right.
other stories.
Of course.
We've talked about Crosstown Bus,
Yeah.
Bunratty's,
Yeah.
the Paradise. But Brighton's musical landscape was dotted with all these smaller venues, too.
Oh, yeah.
Each with its own unique flavor.
Like what?
Well, there's this place called the Groggery.
The Groggery.
Yeah, tucked away on the first floor of Alston Hall near the Turnpike.
Okay.
Closed down in the late 70s, but it had its moment.
What kind of moment?
Well, one name that stands out is Buddy Miles.
Buddy Miles.
Yeah, the legendary drummer.
Oh, wow.
Played with Jimi Hendrix
Get out.
in the Band of Gypsies.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Seeing Buddy Miles in such a small place.
I know, right?
Wow.
A legendary drummer playing in a tiny club in Brighton.
That's amazing.
It's like every corner you turn in this neighborhood
Yep.
has some kind of musical history embedded in it.
It's true.
What other musical havens did Brighton have to offer?
Well, there was Gladstone's on Commonwealth Avenue,
Okay.
popular spot for local bands.
Uh-huh.
And then there's Harper's Ferry.
Harper's Ferry.
Yeah. Long run on Brighton Avenue.
Okay.
Closed down in 2010. Reopened as Brighton Music Hall, though.
So the music lives on,
Exactly.
even if the names change.
Yep.
What was the vibe at Harper's Ferry?
Pretty eclectic mix.
Really?
Everything from blues legends like Taj Mahal and Bo Diddley
Wow.
to more contemporary acts like Maroon 5 and Jefferson Starship.
Sounds like Brighton wasn't just a rock and roll town.
No.
It was a melting pot of genres.
Yeah,
A place where blues, rock, and everything in between could thrive.
for sure.
And that diversity
Wow.
seems to be part of what made the Brighton music scene so special.
Absolutely.
Did any other venues manage to survive?
You know, the ever-changing landscape of the music industry, one that's still going strong, is Great Scott.
Great Scott.
Also on Commonwealth Avenue.
Okay.
They've always been known for showcasing local bands,
Yeah.
up-and-coming artists,
That's great.
a testament to Brighton's commitment to new talent.
I love that.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder who's playing there right now.
Right.
That'll be the next Aerosmith or the next U2.
Totally.
Speaking of Aerosmith,
Yeah.
we were talking about their early days in Brighton.
Yeah.
Was there anything else about their connection to the neighborhood that stood out to you?
You know, there's this great anecdote
Yeah.
from an interview Steven Tyler did back in '75.
Okay.
He talked about how determined they were to be heard.
Hmm.
He said they would set up their equipment outside BU during lunchtime
Yeah.
and just start rocking out.
Just like we were saying,
Music?
hoping to attract a crowd
Yeah.
to get noticed.
Mm-hmm.
It's that image of them playing their hearts out on the street,
Yeah.
driven by pure passion,
I love it.
that really captures the essence of the Brighton music scene.
For sure.
It wasn't about the money.
No.
It wasn't about the fame.
Nope.
It was about the music.
The music.
And that brings us to another Brighton musician
Okay.
who embodies that spirit,
Who's that?
Tom Soltz.
Tom Soltz.
Yeah, the mastermind behind Boston.
I loved him.
What was his Brighton story?
Well, he was a student at MIT. Okay.
Already deeply immersed in the local music scene,
Mhm.
he played in a band called Freehold.
Freehold?
Yeah. And it was during those years in Brighton
Okay.
that he started experimenting with that sound.
That sound.
Yeah, that soaring layered guitar sound.
That defines Boston.
Exactly.
Those iconic guitar riffs, the ones that define Boston's music,
Yeah.
they were being born right here in Brighton.
Wow.
It's incredible.
No, right?
It's like the very air in Brighton was infused with musical creativity.
It's true.
Makes you wonder what it was about this place
Yeah.
that attracted and inspired so many talented musicians.
It's something special.
There's something magical about Brighton,
Definitely.
a certain energy
For
that
sure.
seems to draw musicians in.
It's true.
And it's not just about the big names.
No.
It's about the sense of community,
Yeah.
the way music seems to weave itself into the fabric of the neighborhood
Absolutely.
and that sense of community.
Yeah. Is perfectly illustrated by a figure we mentioned earlier.
Oh, yeah.
Someone who wasn't a rock star in the traditional sense,
Okay.
but who became a beloved fixture in the Brighton music scene.
Who's that?
Mr. Butch.
Mr. Butch.
Yeah.
Tell me more.
Mr. Butch was a homeless man
Oh, wow.
who became a local legend.
Really?
He was known as the King of Kenmore Square
Wow.
and the Mayor of Alston.
That's amazing.
He was this larger-than-life personality
Okay.
who was embraced by the music community,
Wow.
and he actually performed at some of the clubs,
Get out.
including the Underground in Allston
Okay.
and the Rat in Kenmore Square.
Wow.
Both legendary venues in their own right.
Yeah.
Sadly, they're both gone now.
That's too bad.
It's heartwarming to hear that someone like Mr. Butch,
Yeah.
living on the streets,
Yeah.
found acceptance
Yeah.
and even a stage
Wow.
within the Brighton music scene.
That's really cool.
It speaks to the power of music to transcend boundaries and create connections.
Uh,
But it's also bittersweet to think about all the venues that are no longer with us,
Yeah.
the places that held so much music history.
I know.
What can we learn from all of this?
Yeah.
What's the takeaway for someone who's maybe just discovering this history
Yeah.
for the first time?
I think one of the biggest takeaways is the importance of community.
Community.
Yeah, Brighton's music scene wasn't just about individual artists
Yeah.
or bands striving for success. It was about a collective passion for music,
Okay.
a shared love for creating and experiencing something special together.
Yeah.
And it was about embracing everyone,
Everyone.
from the biggest rock stars to the homeless man who loved to sing.
That's so powerful.
It is.
It reminds us that music has this unique ability
Yeah.
to transcend boundaries and create a sense of belonging.
Absolutely.
And Brighton seems to have captured that spirit
Yeah,
in a truly remarkable way.
for sure.
So what can we do to keep that spirit alive? What would you say to someone who's inspired by these stories
Yeah.
and wants to connect with Brighton's musical heritage?
I'd say get out there and explore.
Explore.
Go to a show at the Paradise.
Yeah.
Check out Great Scott.
Okay.
Walk down Commonwealth Avenue and imagine Aerosmith jamming outside
I
BU.
love it.
Every corner of Brighton has a story to tell,
Yeah.
a song to sing.
It's all still there waiting to be discovered.
It is.
It really is amazing
Isn't it?
how Brighton's musical legacy continues to resonate today.
It's like you said,
Yeah.
the echoes of those rock and roll anthems
Right.
woven into the very streets. You
Exactly.
can almost hear it.
I know. It's like every brick and cobblestone
Right.
has a story to tell, a melody to hum.
Totally.
And this deep dive,
Yeah.
we've only just scratched the surface
Everything.
from those wild nights at the Crosstown bus
Oh, yeah.
to Aerosmith jamming on the streets
Right?
and Mr. Butch captivating audiences with his charm.
It's amazing.
Brighton's music scene
Yeah,
was and still is a testament to the power of passion,
absolutely.
community,
Yeah,
and the enduring spirit of rock and roll.
it's true.
So
Yeah.
what will you discover when you explore Brighton's musical landscape?
I don't know.
Right.
Well, I'm excited to find out.
Me too. Thanks for taking this deep dive with us.
My pleasure.
Listeners, stay tuned for more explorations into the fascinating worlds
Oh, yeah.
hidden within the stacks of your sources.
Can't wait.